So hereupon we take the simplest aim to be accomplished with the help of MATLAB environment, that it is to detect the dual tone multi-frequency component using discrete Fourier transformation. Now we shall begin with this particular script here. So now first of all we will like to have the input accepted from the command prompt, and that input will be the number that we dial from the telephone pad here. Hence I just make the assignment to the symbol that we can define to be number here. The acceptance can be made with the help of MATLAB syntax input, whereas within the pair of parentheses and a pair of single quotes we quote here enter the telephone digit. So this digit we are going to accept from it. So here we provide it to be S as well. Now after obtaining it, as this we have already discussed to be basically the symbol, so here I just define another variable called a symbol, which will be the absolute value derived for the above variable that we accept the input from the command prompt here. So absolute of the number here. Now here we also develop one array that we can denote it by X here. So we shall be developing it of the order of 4 by 4. The first row we shall have the entries as like 49, 50, 51, 65. The next line can be separated with the help of semicolon. We can have 52, 53, 54, 66. The third line, the third row, we have the elements as like 55, 56, 57, 67. Next to that we can have the last row, that is 42, 48, 35, 68. So we end this with the help of semicolon here. Now we shall be making the use of nested for loopings here. So I just write down the keyword for here, and we take the index variable small p, that we iterate from the value 1 up to the 4, and in this particular for loop that we are going to end here, so in between these two keywords we have to develop it. We nest another for loop, and in this case we take the index variable q that also iterates from the value 1 to 4 here. And for the inside for loop, as we have written over here, we put the if command here. So the if condition that we do it for capital X, within the parenthesis we write the index variables p comma q if they are equal to the absolute value of the input that we have accepted from the command prompt that we have assigned to the variable number. So that time we ask this particular for looping to have break here. So this is with respect to the inside for loop. For the outside for loop, again we have the similar kind of the condition. If x within the parenthesis p comma q is equal to the absolute of the variable number here. So that time also we ask this particular looping to have break here. So the if statement is to be ended here. The for looping is also ended here. Now as we have already learnt it to have the two frequency components for the specified symbol, any symbol from the dial pad here, we have the definitions of the two frequency components. So let us say for the first case FREQ we define, whereas as we have seen the tabulation concerning the endpoint DFT cases for the frequency components, the first harmonic here. So the first four values we assign to this frequency 1. So those values you can recall from the video number 1. for the signal detection, so that it is 697, 770, 852, next to that 941, and the frequency component 2 we define here FREQ2 with again the array having the four values from the same tabulation are 1209, 1336, next to that we have 1477, 1633. here we end it with the help of semicolon. Now for the endpoint DFT that we are going to make the use for the detection purpose, we select capital N to hold the value 205. So the values shall range from 0 to 204 here. Now with the help of the two frequency component, the signal representation can be made, and as usual in the discrete time domain, as we denote the signal x of n here, simply the variable x will be a sinusoidal form having the two frequency components. So for sinusoidal form we make the use of trigonometric function sine here, whereupon we have 2 in multiplication to the constant pi in multiplication to the capital N that we have already defined in multiplication to the first frequency component, hence FREQ 1, and here we provide small p within this parenthesis, and let us have it divided by 8000 here. So let us see, this is the first frequency component of the signal, whereas the second frequency component can be added to it with again the sinusoidal function sine here. So sine within the bracket we have 2 in multiplication of the constant pi, further in multiplication to capital N multiplied to FREQ2, the second frequency component, and here we provide within the parenthesis small q, which is further divided by 8000 again. So this is the signal formation here. Now we can have values of k from this particular array, where we have the values, for example 18, 20, 22, 24, 34 we can take, 31 we can also take, next to that we give it 38, then 42 here. Now as we will like to have the plotting of the magnitude that we detect for, initially we define the variable MAG to be holding all the values to be of zeros here. So the dimensions we specify as the before dimensions, we have only one row and the 8 values it will hold, hence 1, 8 we specify here, ending this with the help of semicolon. Now there it is the computation of the Fourier component with the help of the discrete Fourier transformation here. So for that purpose what we make, we take a separate function developed first of all. So let us have this particular function for the computation of the DFT sample, and here as it is a separate script, we mention the purpose of this particular program. So this is not a separate program, this is a function. So I just comment the first line with the words function for computation of DFT sample, and this DFT sample computation we are going to make possible with the help of the Godel's algorithm. So I just mention here using Godel's algorithm. Now we have to make the use of function keyword, and next to that the end keyword, and between these two we have to develop it. So after the function keyword, the output variable that holds the value after calling this particular function, we give it with the name capital X capital F, and let us have this function named by GFFT as FFT for fast Fourier transformation, G for the Godel's algorithm here, and we will like to have the three input operands here. So these are the input arguments x comma capital N comma k here. So x, the discrete time sequence, as usually we denote n for the n point discrete Fourier transformation, k the index variable of such a transformation we make. So after accepting these three input operands, we first of all make the use of if command. So here we put here, we compute the length of the discrete time sequence that we have accepted here. So length of x if it is less than capital N, so that time we can have the definition of xe, the variable which is having the array first of all x followed by the zeros here, and to these zeros we provide the dimensions 1 comma capital N minus length, and again provide x to it as a function. So we end it with the help of semicolon. Along with this condition, we will also like to have the other part, hence we write else part to this particular if function. So if the condition is not true, that length of x is less than capital N, we will like to have the variable xe to be small x as accepted from the input. Now we end here the if conditions here, and we have the definition of x1 that can be simply xe as defined earlier, and next to that we have 0 here. Now we have the d1 component here. The d1 component we can define with the help of 2 in multiplication to the trigonometric function cosine, which is having within the parenthesis 2 in multiplication to the constant pi in multiplication to the DFT index variable small k divided by, here we have total number of DFT samples, that it is capital N here. Now after this we have the definition of W. So the W, the Tweedale factor mostly we refer to, it is basically the exponential component here. So here we make the use of exp, and within the parenthesis we can define it to be of having the power negative minus 1 times I, we can specify in multiplication to twice of the constant pi, further in multiplication to small k divided by capital N here. Now next to that we can have the y generated by the use of filter function operated over, we have 1 comma the array that holds the values 1 minus d that we have defined, negation of it, so d1 it is, and next to that 1 comma we have x1, we end it with the help of semicolon. Then finally the output that we are going to result with the help of this function to be called upon into the main script here, except we generate as y in the bracket capital N plus 1 minus w in multiplication to y of capital N here, so ending it with the help of semicolon. So this is the function script here. So let us save this function. So to the current directory, so for the Godel's algorithm we name it gfft here .m, it will be the file extension. So it has been saved to the current folder named ADSP, and now the same name has been appeared to the untitled window tab that it was in the editor window here. Now we get back to the main script here. So in this main script, after initializing the DFT component magnitude to be of the 0 values here, now we make the use of for looping here. So the index variable we define for m ranging for the values 1 to 8 in total. Now hereupon we will like to have fx of m that has been computed by calling gfft function just now we have defined, whereas the inputs we can provide x, the discrete time sequence which is to be operated for finding out the DFT component. The value of capital N in this particular situation we provide 205 comma k, and within the parenthesis we provide small m here. We end this computation. Now we end this for looping as well. Next, after this for looping, we have the definition of the variable mag for the magnitude, that it is now the absolute of capital F small x that we have computed in the earlier step here. Now plotting of the same can be made with the help of stem function, as it is of the discrete time domain, and to the stem function we provide the input arguments as k comma variable mag here. So we will like to have these into the grid form, and also we will like to have the labeling to them. So as we have x-axis and y-axis, for the x-axis we write the command x label and provide it with the number of the endpoint DFTs, so that has been denoted by small k here. And in the similar fashion, the y-axis we label for the magnitude here. So the magnitude can be represented with the help of mod. So here it is the mod of capital X as a function of small k here. Now we specify the limit of this particular plot. Next, it is equal to, let us say for example 80. Now we are going to make another use of the for loopings. First of all, for the variable index s here, that can range the iterations from 5u to 8 here, within which we can have the if statement here. So here it is concerning the condition with respect to the variable magnitude mag here. So within the parenthesis s, if it is greater than the limit 80 that we have defined, so that time we have to break the loop here. So we end this if command and end the for loop as well. Now we define another for loop with the index variable r, that is 1 to 4. Next to that we again put the if command, the if condition here. So here we write the magnitude within the bracket, here we write r. If this is now equal to, if this is now greater than the limit that we have defined to be equal to 80, here also we have to break this looping. We end the if statement, we end the for looping as well, and finally we will like to have the display onto the command prompt. So hereupon we shall mention that whatever the number has been dialed, that is basically the input that we have accepted again from the command prompt. So if this is the touch panel here, so we will write the touch tone symbol, touch tone symbol or touch tone number that we have dialed. And for the display purpose we will like to have display in the character form here, and the information has been from capital X. Within the parenthesis we provide small r comma s minus 4 we can make here. So this much of script we consider to be sufficient for this application of detecting the tone, the signal detection application for dual tone multi-frequency detection here. We must save the script. So as this is the 14th topic, I just mentioned the name as program underscore 8 underscore 14. So from the 8th chapter we have the 14th video. So .m, it will be the file extension here. So it has been saved to the current directory as well. The name has appeared to the editor window here. Now we will like to run this particular program. So as we run this particular program, so we see onto the command window, here it is the statement that has appeared that we have already programmed. Enter the telephone digit here. So here we can provide the input right from 0 to 9. So first of all, I put the value to be entered here to be equal to 0 and hit the enter here. Now you can see here that a figure window has appeared that I maximize here, and onto the horizontal axis you can see the plot of the k values right from 15 to 45. You can see here the different magnitudes. We can see here the magnitude levels have been plotted onto the vertical axis, having the magnitude values right from 0 to 120 at max here. The most prominent components that we can plot here and that we have detected to see here at the y value 101.8, that it is the magnitude that we have obtained for the x component is equal to 24 here. The second prominent component that we have obtained at x is equal to 34, whereas the magnitude y value is equal to 91.74. Rest of the components are holding the very negligible amplitude. At 18 number we have 2.474, at the 20 number we have 3.579, at the 22nd we have 6.448, at the 31st component we have 4.627. next to that, at the 30th component we have the amplitude 7.2, and lastly at the 42nd we have the amplitude 4.009. so these amplitude levels are very less as compared to the 24th and the 34th that we have displayed here. And now upon doing this, the command prompt is also returning the information that the touch tone symbol that it was dialed is equal to 0, the value that we had entered. So I just run this particular program once again. Now this time if I enter instead of 0 the value 1 to be the digit dialed from the telephone pad, so that time you can see here again we have obtained the two components. Those have been plotted in this particular figure. So the first prominent component that we have, and it holds the magnitude 100 here. So this component is prior to the k is equal to 25 approximately. Yes, here it is, x is equal to 24, and the y value, the exact value here it is 99.84 here. Whereas the second prominent component we have obtained at the 42nd component, x is equal to 42, and the amplitude level is 98.01 here. Now again onto the command prompt we have the touch tone symbol is equal to D here. Now if we run this particular once again, press it the 2 here, we get the frequency components. Those have been with the amplitudes like this: x is equal to 24, y is equal to 99.84, here it is x is equal to 42, y is equal to 98.01. in the similar fashion, if I dial the hash symbol from the telephone pad, so that time also we get the two frequency components. So here we have the x component 24 holding the amplitude 99.69, and for the 38th component we have 98.01. in the similar fashion, if we dial high from this, we also get the two frequency components. The first one that holds the x value, here we have x is equal to 24, amplitude y is equal to 99.84, whereas for the next prominent, for x is equal to 42, we have the amplitude 98.01.